In mid-July, with a clear, authoritative voice became a flashpoint over America's promises to its wartime allies. Zia, a 35-year-old father of five, spent 5 years in Afghanistan as an interpreter and cultural advisor for U.S. forces. That service drew Taliban threats, and after Kabul fell in 2021, he and his family fled. They were allowed into the United States on October 8, 2024, under humanitarian parole. Zia had already received high-level approval for a special immigrant visa, Washington's formal pathway for endangered allies, and was finishing the paperwork for a green card. On July 16, 2025, he walked into a U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services office in Connecticut for a routine biometrics appointment. As he left, 6 armed, masked ICE agents surrounded him, put him in an unmarked van, and drove him to a detention center in Massachusetts. Hours later, officials issued an expedited removal order, the fast-track process used to deport people without a full court hearing. The Department of Homeland Security says Zia is under investigation for a serious criminal allegation, but it has not revealed any details. Immigration officials also claim he entered the country without authorization, an assertion his attorney Lauren Peterson calls flatly false. She notes that Zia has no criminal history, and that if there truly were a major criminal case, it would play out in a criminal court, not an immigration proceeding designed for quick removals. Veterans groups and lawmakers reacted swiftly. Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal called the arrest an abhorrent violation of basic decency and a betrayal of America's promise. Representatives Jahana Hayes and Bill Keating joined him in demanding Zia's release. A federal judge has now issued a temporary stay, blocking deportation while the case is reviewed. Advocates warn the incident is not isolated. They point to a broader immigration crackdown by the Trump administration, which has moved to end protected status for thousands of recently evacuated Afghans. The volunteer network #AfghanEvac says it knows of at least 2 similar detentions of former U.S. partners. Word of Zia's arrest has rippled through Afghan-American communities, prompting renewed pleas for Congress to pass the bipartisan Afghan Adjustment Act, a measure that would give wartime allies a direct, stable route to permanent residency. For now, Zia sits in detention, his future and that of his wife and 5 children hanging on a tangle of legal rulings and political decisions. His supporters argue that America asked him to risk his life, promised him safety, and now must keep that promise. Critics counter that national security concerns come first. The coming weeks will show whether lawmakers can turn outrage into action, whether the courts will intervene, and what message the United States ultimately sends to those who stand beside its troops in future conflicts.